Man, I wish I had sound effects. I would be like this blaring alarm signal or something that I would play right now, because today we're going to talk about a really sensitive topic, but it's an important one. It's talking about ageism and age discrimination in church hiring. Oh, what a topic. Why are you going there, Todd? I was asking myself that just now. But we're going to go there, and I'm glad you're here to join us. This is the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. My name's Todd Rhoades, one of the co-founders over at chemistrystaffing.com, and your host here on the podcast. Now, ageism just isn't a problem in the secular workplace. It can rear its ugly head in the church as well, often disguised as preferences for young blood or fresh ideas or someone that can relate to the next generation. But age discrimination many times is very counterproductive. And here's why. Older candidates can bring a wealth of experience and wisdom and maturity to the table. They've weathered storms, they've learned from mistakes, they've developed leadership skills that can't be replicated overnight. Matter of fact, some research from Lifeway recently found that 69% of Protestant churches say that they'll be willing to hire a pastor who's 60 or over. However, other studies suggest that older candidates often face subtle biases and stereotypes in the hiring process. So I work with churches all day, every day, and I can tell you that every church has in their mind, if not an age, at least a stage of life that they're looking for. And many times I can tell you, because I talk with churches all the time that are hiring, they're looking for younger candidates. Now, I don't think it's as blatant as it was even 10 years ago, when there was a real want for young candidates. Churches still like to hire younger, particularly in youth and worship, but for senior pastors, that seems to have leveled out a little bit. And here's what I tell churches, just bottom line, I'm going off script a little bit here, but age really is a number. We interview candidates that are in their 60s that have the energy and the vitality and they interview like they're a 45-year-old. We interview 40-year-olds that look like they're 60 and don't have the energy and stamina. They're just burned out. They're tired. So when you put in your filter, hey, we want a candidate that's between 35 and 45 or 45 and 55 or whatever, you may be, without even realizing it, taking some really qualified candidates either on the younger side or on the older side out of the mix. Okay? So I would just encourage you, just as we're looking at this from a 30,000-foot level, we always tell churches, hey, we don't know what we're going to find. When we start your search, we're not sure what we're going to find. Matter of fact, God's not surprised, but we are a lot of times, that the people that we find that would be a great fit for your church, not only age-wise, but experience-wise, and what their background is, and all different kinds of things. A lot of times we're surprised finding some great candidates that maybe break the mold a little bit as to what you thought you were going to be looking for. All right, so let's come back down to this ageism thing. And this is just a hot topic. It's a hot topic. It's controversial, I know. But how does ageism manifest itself in churches and staffing? And here are a few red flags to watch out for. Okay, so job descriptions with age-related language, phrases like energetic or digital native or recent graduate, those can subtly discourage older candidates from applying. And the opposite could be true as well with some phrases. How many job descriptions have you seen that say 15 years of experience, or we need somebody with a D-min? Something like that can also, and sometimes those are very warranted, but other times they will just cause people that really could be great candidates not to apply. Here's what I think you should do. Okay, I'm going to cut to the bottom line here, because it bothers me a lot of times, and it could be that I'm turning 60 this year, so it could be that I'm just in a stage of life where I feel like, hey, I'm 60, I still got a lot to offer. But I see it all the time on the younger side too, with, hey, we want a youth pastor, we want to pay $35,000 a year, we want them to have a D-min and we want everything. but we want them to have 10 years of youth pastor experience, which, is really hard to do. So how can you do this? I realize I'm mumbling here a little bit because this is a tricky topic, but the first thing I would say is examine your own biases. We all have biases, okay? A lot of them, many times, are unconscious. Take time to reflect on your own attitudes toward stage of life and age of candidates and challenge any stereotypes that you might hold. One of the things that we do with churches when we talk with them is we ask them, are you okay with somebody that's just coming out of seminary? Would they be a good fit? Would you be okay with somebody who's maybe a little older, that has more experience, that might have 5 or 10 more really solid ministry years ahead of them? Every church likes to hire for the next 25 years. Very few candidates will stay at a church for 25 years anymore. It's not like it used to be. All right? Examine your own biases. And then evaluate candidates based on their merit. Look beyond their age and focus on their individual qualifications and their strengths and their potential contributions. That's huge. Diversify your search committee. Include some people from different ages and backgrounds on your search committee. That'll help. And then seek some wise counsel. Consult with your trusted advisors and mentors. Reach out to me, podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. Love to share my 2 cents with you as well after you tell me what you're looking for. But the bottom line is, if you've done this or if you're doing this now, stop evaluating candidates based merely on their age. I always think that's a mistake. More toward their qualifications. You're either taking people out on the young end that have unbelievable potential, or you're taking people out possibly on the back end when they bring just a wealth of ministry experience that you're not going to find in younger candidates. I'm an advocate on both sides of the spectrum. Not everybody is 40 years old and raring to go. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this. I realized I've rambled more, and it's more because this is a tricky topic, but I see it as something that needs to be addressed in churches. If you'd like to pick my brain about this or ramble a little bit about how I rambled, I would love to talk to you. You can reach out to me anytime. podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about, if your church is getting ready to hire, what position should you hire next? We'll talk about that tomorrow here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast.